the UK population is projected to increase to nearly 70 million people over the course of the next 10 years. And I've been talking about that 70 million figure for over a decade myself. I've made the point that with a rapidly rising population, actually, the quality of life for vast numbers of us goes down. And whether that's just trying to get around on the underground in London or driving up the M6 or whatever it may be, I've just always felt we haven't got the infrastructure to cope with this kind of increase. The reason the population has increased so much since 2001, well, 75% of that increase of population has been directly because of immigration, directly or indirectly because of immigration. And you can argue immigration's a good thing and we need it. You can argue we need workers. You can argue all these things. But I would argue that actually the way we've conducted this has lowered the quality of life for a lot of people. It would, on any other day, have been worthy of a full debate this evening. But hey, Brexit, I'm afraid, is there. And of course, John Bercow is there. And I can't get away from that. Gordon is a new caller from Herrenberg in Germany. Gordon, good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Farage.
Hello there. So, watching it all from Germany, how does John Bercow appear to have handled Brexit as Speaker?
Well, I don't think he was handling Brexit. I think he was handling the rules of Parliament. That's my first impression, yeah. I really don't think that Mr. Bercow in any way biased. I mean, he's a conservative in the same way as you are, Mr. Farage.
I don't think so, Gordon, no. No, I really don't think so.
Well,
I mean, he might have been elected as a Conservative, but I mean, he's only in the position because of Labour votes, isn't he? It's Labour MPs that made him Speaker. Labour MPs made him Speaker. Oh, yes.
I mean, I've seen a lot of things on Twitter and so on. Rules are rules, and that's the way Parliament is run. And Mr. Bercow is doing his best to adhere to those rules and make sure that the government sticks to those rules. And that's just the way it is as far as I'm concerned. The view from Germany is, well, obviously, most people here think that everybody in the UK is just being crazy about the whole thing. Brexit doesn't seem logical to Germans. But you know that you've had a German wife, or German children, you've a German passport yourself, for goodness sake.
No, I don't. No, I don't. What are you on about? What are you on about?
Get one. You might not be able to travel if you haven't got one.
Oh, don't talk rubbish, Gordon. Honestly, what are you on about? What are you on about? We're able to travel all over. We're able to travel all over the world.
I apologise, Mr. Farage. I'm a fairly radical Remainer. I've been living in Europe.
I'd never guessed. Well, we love you,
living
Gordon.
And working in the Netherlands, in France, in Germany for the last 35 years.
Gordon, I love Europe. I love Europe. I've worked for European companies. I love Europe. I hate the European Union. I hate this attempt to take away individual nation-state democracy and have it run by Juncker and the gang. I want a Europe of nation-states that work and trade and cooperate together. What's wrong with that, Gordon?
Absolutely nothing at all. Yeah, and that's very logical. But I really think you're misrepresenting. Sorry, I don't mean that in an insulting way, but you're misrepresenting what the European Union actually does. You've been coming and going between the UK and Brussels for years and years and years, decades, and you know what it's like. What's it going to be like when you all of a sudden you're going to be held up by border checks? You're going to be held up in all kinds of ways.
Gordon, my hope is that with Brexit, a proper Brexit, not this Boris Brexit, which means we won't be out at all, but with a proper Brexit, we show that actually the best way to run a country is through an independent, sovereign democracy where your leaders are directly accountable, but where you want to have as good a cooperation with electors as possible. And I hope, hang on, and I hope that Brexit will change the whole of the European Union, and let's have a European Council. Let's have...
Which, brings us back to the question of Mr. Bercow, who really has shown that Parliament actually already has sovereignty.
Well, it's a very interesting one, isn't it? Because it's funny, those who cry sovereignty the loudest right now are those who are keenest for us to have the European Court of Justice as the ultimate arbiter. Gordon, we could argue for hours. Thank you for your call.